Every team, every topic, everywhere. This is Believe.
What's happening, everybody? Welcome to Friday. It's Friday Face-Off. Jeff Lavecchio and I are going to take a topic to go back and forth on. Sometimes a little controversial. We don't agree. Go back and forth. That's why it's Face-Off. I was way better Face-Off percentage than he is, but that's okay. Sometimes we do agree, though. And today I want to talk about something, Vex. We are talking a lot about youth hockey, and this is the week of the Four Nations Cup, Four Nations Face-Off, Four Nations Tournament, whatever you want to call it. And I was looking at Team USA's roster, right? And so I'm like, I wonder where like everybody came from and just kind of like what their path was to get to where they are. And so it was really, really interesting because so many people feel in our youth hockey landscape today that they need to move their kid out of town at 9 years old, to get the best hockey experience. And I say that a bit facetiously, but there is some truth to that. Maybe not 9, but not too much later than 9. And so I was kind of looking at like the paths of all the guys that made the team, and like literally very, very few of the players that are playing on this team. So the elite of the elite of the elite of USA hockey left their area to pursue hockey.
Really?
Very, very, very few. So you have the only ones that I can see, Vinny Trocheck. His family moved from Pittsburgh to Detroit to play for Little Caesars when he was like, I think 13 or 14 years old. Sanderson. So his dad is Jeff Sanderson. Jake Sanderson's dad is Jeff Sanderson, who played in the NHL for a long time. They lived in Montana and then moved up to Calgary. So the family moved up there, and his dad kind of grew up in Alberta. So again, like the family was with them, and they moved from Montana, which doesn't really have much, to Calgary. And that's where they still live today. And then Jeremy Swayman was kind of like the only guy that really like moved. And he did it at 18 years old to play 18U in Colorado, but he's from Alaska. So he played like Alaska high school hockey, and then moved down at 18. But everybody else stayed in the area that they were at. Every single other person of the 23 players. So 2 moved with their family somewhere else for better hockey. 1 kind of moved, and I'm assuming he builded from Alaska to Colorado. But everybody else, right? You look at Kyle Connor, Michigan, until he went to the USHL. Jack Eichel, Boston, until he went to the national program. Jake Gensel, Minnesota, until he went to the USHL. Jack Hughes was in Ontario because his dad worked for the Maple Leafs, was in Ontario until he went to the national program. Chris Kreider, Massachusetts, went to prep school. He actually played 2 years of Mass high school hockey. Matt Boldy, Massachusetts, went to prep school in Massachusetts. Austin Matthews, Arizona, stayed in Arizona until he went to the national program. Dylan Larkin, Michigan, until the national program. JT Miller, Pittsburgh, until the national program. He's actually from Ohio, but it's driving distance to Pittsburgh. So just for anybody that wants to really fact check me, it's like less than an hour away. So that's like the better team to play for. Connor Hellebuck played Michigan high school hockey, then went to the North American League, and now is the greatest goalie in the world. Stayed in Michigan. The Kachuk boys, Missouri, in St. Louis until they went to the national program. Brock Faber, Minnesota, till he went to the national program. Adam Fox, Long Island, till the national program. Noah Hannafin played prep school in Massachusetts, where he's from, until the national program. Charlie McAvoy was in the Long Island, New York, New Jersey area until he went to the NTDP. Jacob Slavin played in Colorado until he went to the USHL. Werenski, Michigan, till the NTDP. Jake Ottinger, Minnesota, played Minnesota high school hockey until he went to the NTDP. So like all of these guys did not leave their hometowns until they went to play junior hockey. So for everybody out there that thinks that they have to move their kid away at 13, 14, 15 years old, here's the stats. Now, these are the best of the best. So let's disclaimer this, right? Most of these kids played for the NTDP. Let's see, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So 15 of the kids played for the NTDP, but they didn't leave home until they went to the NTDP. People think they need to leave home at 13 or 14 to get in that, in that track or on that track or whatever. Like, this is just really good data, guys. Like, you don't need to move your kid away. Like, again, look at even Austin Matthews. And this is like one of the things that's so not talked about enough is that where you play, the league you're in, this and that has so much less to do with your kid getting these opportunities and getting better than who their coach is. Kids who are really good hockey players are the ones that go on to play at the higher levels. Like that's the reality, right? So like the coaching is the most important thing. I think of Austin Matthews, right, in Arizona. Like he had a great coach in midget hockey. And I could look at a lot of these guys because they were going through it as, you know, I was kind of recruiting at Cornell for some of the older kids that are on there. Like they had good coaching. And so just some statistics, best players in the US going to play for this face-off, like very, very, very few of them left their home area to play.
And it's not like they were all in one good area. They were spread out all across the country. All across the country. It's like Toph said, if you want to be the best player, you find a way to be the best player. You know, who was it? Like, was it Walter Payton in Chicago who used to just drag the tire up the hill? And that was like his training, just like that's what he did. Walter Payton, drag the tire. Like you hear about the baseball players in the MLB who are playing stickball, you know, in South America and, you know, don't even have great equipment and, you know, are training with whatever they can find. And they wind up being the best players in the MLB. Like teaching your kids, like how to be passionate and how to get better. And, you know, the simple resources that we always talk about that done and executed on every single day, intentionality, practice habits, training off the ice, nutrition, sleep, recovery. These are the things that are really going to move the needle because they're things you're going to do every single day. And if they care and you can help foster that, and it's a lot better of a situation than having your 13-year-old go and bill it with some random family because you think that's the ticket to the NHL. They should be mom and dad. They should be a mom and dad for as long as you can. You know, I left home at 15 and a half to live with Toph. But that was because everyone told me like and it was true. I was so skinny. I looked like, you know, an Ethiopian child who hadn't eaten in months. And the reason I went to Chicago the year before I played in the USHL was literally because they had a gym at their rink on the Chicago Chill, and they worked out twice a week, every single week. And there was
you were living with us.
And I was living with my aunt and uncle, and my mom came and visited every single weekend that we had home games, 4-hour drive. You know, and I look back at the positives and negatives of doing that. For me, that was something that I absolutely had to do because literally I was all bones and no muscle, and we didn't have that here at all. Otherwise, I would have stayed in St. Louis if I would have had anything like we have now. And like, that's why I do what I do now, honestly. So we have these types of things in St. Louis. So, you know, these are the best players in the whole world, not like the best players in college or like just good. These are the best players in the NHL, the best league in the world. And they all stayed home longer. There's so many benefits if you can do it, you know?
Yeah. Look, being an elite level hockey player, an elite level anything, it's not just your hockey skill, it's your life skills. That's equally, maybe even more important than, you know, the talent that you have with a hockey stick. Because I know, Vex, you and I both know a lot of really talented players who are addicted to drugs or alcohol, who should have probably played in the NHL but didn't because they had the life skills because of whatever reason, maybe tough family life, maybe too much pressure on them, maybe they just found the bottle and it clicked, whatever it may be. And so that's the thing that people don't really, I think, talk about enough. And maybe we don't talk about it enough. Maybe we should talk about it more, but like, you want to be an elite athlete. Like if that's the end goal, if that's why you're sending your kid away, make sure that if you're sending your kid away, especially at the younger ages, they're going to learn the life skills needed to be great at what they do and a functioning member of a society just as much as they would get under your roof as their mom and dad. Right? Like that is such an important part to the equation. And I think we focus so much on the hockey talent side when it comes to the quote unquote making it. The life skills side is really, really important. And then you look at this, like only 3 left their hometown, and 2 of them, it was because they were moving with their family, you know, like, so of the 23 players, like only 1 like billeted away from their family. And I don't know, maybe their parents moved to Colorado with them. I'm just assuming maybe it's everybody with Swayman from Alaska, but like that's a big part of the equation here. So like, again, Vex and I are always talking about like, slow down, right? That this is a marathon. This is not a sprint. Your kid needs to become, whether it's elite hockey or not, the life skills part to this youth hockey experience is the most important part. And this just kind of shows you, like, staying at home for the best players in our country is what at least 20 of the 23 did. And 2 of the 3 that didn't moved with their family to a different spot.
Family, pretty important.
All right. I'm sure we'll get a lot of people DMing us on this one, but this is, for me, when I was looking at this roster, I was like, man, like, this is very enlightening to what we talk about all the time. And so, yeah, what do you think?
Grass isn't always greener, guys. Grass is not always greener. Share the show.
Thank you. Share the show.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.